Are you sure you haven't bit off more than you can chew, Ben?
No, George, I don't think I've bitten off more than I can chew. Timber cutting's right on schedule. As a matter of fact, I'm a little ahead. Now, you see, it just doesn't make good business sense to haul that timber all the way to the sawmill and then haul it all the way back again.
That's going to cost a lot of money.
Yes, it is. But don't forget that Army contract includes a stiff penalty clause if I don't deliver on time. And that is a lot of money, and it's lost money. It just makes a whole lot better business sense to build a new mill right where I'm cutting the timber.
Well, I'll have to take it up with the other directors. And with a loan this size, we'll have to deal direct with the San Francisco bank.
All right, George, thanks. Please, do your best to speed things up. I need that machinery in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I understand, Ben.
At the stage. You know, it's the first time in months that stage's been on time.
Yeah, well, you better get out there. You don't want your cousin Clarissa waiting in that hot sun.
No, I don't.
Now, remember, Ben, you promised me I could meet her.
You'll meet her.
All right.
Oh, Benjamin. I can see why you're happy here. This is one vast, peaceful sanctuary.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's your sanctuary while you're visiting here with us. Oh, I bet you can use the rest, huh? You did a lot of traveling. The Franklins in Ohio, John and his family in Virginia, the Wilsons in Oregon.
You make me sound like a wandering wake.
Hey, Cousin Clarissa. Welcome to the Ponderosa.
You must be Joseph. Your father said in his letters that you were the impetuous one.
I just hope that's all he said.
Hey, you two trying to keep her all to yourself? Howdy, Cousin Clarissa.
Your horse.
Yes, sir. Hope you can stay a while.
What is this, a calculated plot to acquire a housekeeper?
No. You're going to be a welcome guest.
I won't be an idle guest. You wait and see. Come on, Ben, show me the house. Absolutely charming place. But it could use a little redecorating. You know, I redecorated for the Lewises in Illinois.
Oh, yes, certainly, I remember.
Where is it?
Where's what?
The kitchen. After all, a cook can't rest till she sees the kitchen. Oh, Benjamin, I'm going to have such a wonderful time cooking for you. After all, most women have only one man to care for. Now I'll have three.
Oh, welcome to Ponderosa, Cousin Clarissa.
Oh.
My name is Hop Singh, #1 cook.
Hop Singh is almost a member of the family.
Pretty soon I change name to Hop Singh Cartwright. Everybody very happy you come here.
See?
It's not often we have lady from East to visit. Oh, you must be hungry from trip.
Oh, don't go to any trouble. Just something simple.
Oh, no trouble. We have liver pate, dandelion soup, marinated lamb, roast chicken, nice green salad, ready in 1 hour.
Well.
Yeah, you're probably a little tired. Would you like to rest before dinner?
Well, I am just a little tired.
Good. Joseph, would you show Clarissa to her room?
Sure thing, this way.
pity my stay can't be longer.
You're welcome to stay with us as long as you like.
We've got a ticket for Sacramento tomorrow. Oh, Joseph, what a lovely room.
Glad you like it.
All those horses. Reminds me of Cousin John's. They live in Virginia. I love Virginia. The people there are so genteel and civilized.
I hope after all those fancy places you don't find us a little too rough and ready for you.
No. You have a lovely home, a cook, a family, kind of warmth and security that a casual visitor that blows in like a leaf on the wind can't change.
Well, I'll get some water for you for your bath, okay?
Thank you, Joseph.
You no like dinner?
Oh, it was very good, Hop Sing. I guess I was just too tired to be hungry. Hop Sing, the next time you make roast lamb, put some basil in it or rosemary. It makes it taste better.
Oh, sure, Missy Clarissa. Basil, rosemary. You bet.
I'll declare, Cousin Clarissa, you eat like a hummingbird.
Well, I guess I just don't believe in living to eat.
Would you like a little more wine?
No, thanks. It's very good for a domestic product. I bet you could get some French wine in San Francisco, hmm?
Giorgio Russ's wine always tasted pretty good to me.
It's chilly in this altitude in the evenings. Excuse me, I'll get my shot.
Oh, no, Joseph will get it. Sure.
Oh, no, he wouldn't know where it is.
I must say I enjoyed the meal. I thought Hop Sing outdid himself.
So did I, Paul, but I got a feeling that Clarissa didn't enjoy it much.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, stick your foot off the table.
Yeah. Yeah, with all them fancy Eastern relatives, I reckon she figures we're a little backwoodsy or something.
I bet you Hop Sing's out in the kitchen now trying to figure out who Basil and Rosemary are.
I feel sorry for her, though. Kind of sad. Ever since her father died, she's been traveling around, visiting with one relative after another.
Well, how come she never did stay no place permanent, Paul?
Dunno.
Yeah, she was saying something about a ticket to Sacramento.
She got relatives in Sacramento?
No. She told me about that when I picked her up in Virginia City and brought her in. She's going to settle down in Sacramento. That place called Shady Rest. Now, I know what that is. It's where people go and they have no place of their own to live.
She's kind of a young gal to be spending her life in a place like that, isn't she?
Of course she is. She's too young to shut herself off in the world like that.
Listen, maybe she ought to stay around here for a while. She might learn to like it. A lot of eligible bachelors in Virginia City.
I thought maybe, if it's all right with you two, maybe we could talk to her. Be nice to have her around. Maybe she would stay for a while.
That's fine with me.
It's fine by me.
I'll talk to her.
Joseph?
Hey, Clarissa, you're all dressed up. You going someplace?
Yes, shopping. That is, if you'll hitch up the horse for me.
I'll do you one better. I'll drive you in town myself.
Oh, no need for that, Joseph. I'm very good with horses. Besides, I wouldn't dream of taking you away from your work.
Okay, if that's what you want.
I have to do everything myself. Where are them men you promised me?
Clarissa, this is Harry Baker, our foreman. He's been with us so long, he thinks he owns the place.
Well, if I did, I'd have me enough hired hands to finish building that sawmill.
Hey, well, I hired the men yesterday, Harry, and they're going to be here this afternoon.
Well, they'd better be. I ain't the boss's son. I can't sit on my hands the way you do.
Sit on my hands. Well, you old coot, you haven't done a lick of work in 20 years. It hasn't been from the back of a horse.
Well, you hold up your end, I'll hold up mine.
Yeah, well, go get your hand held up. I got to hitch up a buggy.
Mr. Baker, just a minute, please. You're an employee here, Mr. Baker. If I ever hear you speaking to Joseph like that again, I shall have no choice but to tell Mr. Cartwright to have you discharged.
Well, I see there's a new boss of the Ponderosa. Ma'am.
That will be all, Mr. Baker.
Clarissa, I thought you'd be halfway to Virginia City by now.
I would have been if I hadn't run into your foreman.
Baker? What'd he do?
He was yelling at Joseph out there. As the older son, you should have been there to cope with him.
Baker don't need no coping with. He yells at us, we yell at him. I just yell a little louder, he yells faster, that's all.
That's just my point. A hired man should not yell at a Cartwright.
May I help you, ma'am?
Would you tell the manager that Miss Clarissa Cartwright is here?
Yes.
Oh, Miss Cartwright. Well, this is a great pleasure. I'm George Bristol. Ben told me you were going to visit for a few days.
Benjamin has asked me to stay on indefinitely.
Well, that's great news. I hope we see a lot of you. Would you please come into my office?
Oh, thank you.
Miss Cartwright, will you have a seat, please?
Well, thank you.
Ben has told me quite a lot about you.
Oh?
But after we've met, I realize he hasn't told me half enough.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Bristol.
Now, Miss Cartwright, what can I do for you?
I came in to open my account. I feel that a depositor should have complete faith in his bank, don't you, Mr. Bristol?
You certainly should.
Therefore, I don't believe I'll put all my funds in at once. Rather, I'd like to make a token deposit of $30.
All right. Here's your deposit slip. And if you'll just sign this card. Your money is quite safe, Miss Cartwright. As you know, we handle Ben's account. Oh, incidentally, would you mind telling him that I have heard from San Francisco and there will be a short delay in our transaction?
I'll give him that message. I'm very surprised Benjamin isn't doing business directly with San Francisco.
Well, I've always handled Ben's account.
Benjamin is such a kind man. Yes. I'm sure he tries to do business with the local people as much as possible. Good day, Mr. Bristol.
It's a good day.
Good afternoon, ma'am. What can I do for you?
I'm Clarissa Cartwright. Are you the proprietor?
I sure am. Proprietor, owner, clerk, all rolled up in one.
In that case, you may help me.
I'd be glad to. Clarissa Cartwright, huh? You must be Ben's cousin from back east. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. I'm looking for some curtain material. These are very nice, but they're not exactly what I'm looking for.
Well, you may order anything you like, right from San Francisco. Here are the samples.
Well, while I'm looking at these, have you any slippers?
Yeah, what is your size, ma'am?
Oh, they're not for me. Gentlemen's slippers.
Yes, ma'am.
Howdy, George. You busy? Not for you, Roy. Come in, come in. I got it all ready for you before you even ask. Here's a campaign contribution from the Virginia City Bank.
Oh, gee, thanks very much.
Oh, don't thank me. It's a privilege to help you get reelected.
Ben Cartwright has promised to run my election campaign for me again, same as usual.
Well, is he going to have time entertaining his cousin and all?
I heard that she's here. Have you met her?
Yes, I have.
Is she planning on staying a while?
Well, that's what I heard.
I got a couple of posters here. I'd like to leave them with you. If you see your way clear, you could put them in the window. Thanks very much for this.
Well, you sure know good merchandise, ma'am. With the curtain material you ordered, that comes to $268.
Well, you just put that on Mr. Cartwright's account, will you?
Were you sure this will be all right with Ben?
Well, I told you I'm a Cartwright, didn't I?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just wrap these things up for you.
Put this with it. Don't forget the French Burgundy I ordered, will you?
You bet. I'll remember.
Howdy, Seth.
Oh, hi, Roy. Oh, Miss Cartwright, this is Roy Coffey, the sheriff of Virginia City. This is Ben's cousin.
Howdy, ma'am. I heard you was paying us a visit. It certainly is a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. I'll pick those up in about an hour.
Hope to see a lot of you.
I doubt if I'll have any dealings with the law, Constable. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
What was that she called you?
Constable. That means sheriff in the East, I guess.
Well, different places, different ways. She sure is a fine lady. Ordered real French wine. Biggest order I've had in months.
Hey, this is my lucky day. Now you'll be able to make a nice contribution to Roy Coffey's election campaign. I'll leave a couple of these posters here. You can put them in the window if you're minded. Thank you, Seth.
I'd like to speak to you for a moment.
Supper ready. Half hour, Cousin Clarissa.
Hop Sing, I am not your cousin.
Oh, sorry. Hop Sing all time forget.
I bought some new pots and pans. Those old ones should have been thrown away a long time ago.
It's Hop Sing's job to buy everything for kitchen. Nobody else touch kitchen.
You have more than enough to do, Hop Sing. I'm glad to be of help.
Fry pan is too small. Mr. Hoss eat more egg than I can cook in this all by himself.
Perhaps Hoss eats too much. Dinner in 45 minutes, Hop Sing.
Supper in half hour. Same time as usual.
Oh, your boots, Hoss.
Yes, what about them?
They're dirty.
Yes, they generally get that way working around the ranch all the time.
Yes, that's why I bought the house slippers for you to put on when you come indoors. I've had Hop Sing on his hands and knees all day, washing and waxing and polishing these floors.
Yeah, it looks real nice.
Much too nice for muddy boots.
Yeah.
Remove your boots, Hoss, please. Please.
Just hold it right where you are, Joseph. Your boots.
Yeah, my boots. What about them?
They're dusty.
They're dusty. They generally do get dusty when you work around the ranch.
Joseph, they're entirely too dusty to walk on this floor. Look at it. Hop Sing's been in here on his hands and knees, scrubbing, waxing, polishing all day.
Well, what are you going to do, carry me upstairs?
Slippers, Joseph. There's yours.
Slippers. Cousin Clarissa.
That's right.
Next thing you know, she's going to have us wearing ties to the dinner table.
Not me, she ain't.
Slippers.
Aren't you going to tell me how nice the room looks?
I reckon this is what Paul meant by a woman's touch, huh?
It is. The room certainly needed it.
You've been kind of busy, Clarissa.
Well, if it makes you happy, it's been a labor of love.
Now we'll get this extra mail. Let's see if we can speed things up a little bit, huh?
Yeah. First, like to ride into Virginia City or over to the next ranch and get some breakfast.
Breakfast? You just had 3 portions.
Yeah, porridge. Boy, I ain't had porridge since I was a kid. Whatever happened to steak and eggs, anyhow?
Well, Clarissa's just trying to bury the menu.
Well, good, but she's starving me to death while she's doing it.
Dum, do, bum, bum, dum, bum, bum, bum. Hop Sing?
Yes, cousin. Missy Cartwright.
I found this absolutely beautiful sterling silver tea service in the back room. Seems like such a shame to hide it.
Everybody here drink coffee. Nobody drink tea, so I leave in back room.
Well, I drink tea, and at the traditional 3:30.
Sure, I fix tea.
Now, you be sure the water's boiling, and don't fail to preheat the pot, and let it steep. You have some small cookies?
Got plenty cookie left over from Little Joe's birthday party.
Marvelous. Dum, ba, 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 ba.
Heat pot, boil water. 邊時係咁樣煲茶？
Hop Sing! Hop Sing!
Oh, howdy, Miss Cartwright. Is Ben around?
Benjamin and the boys have been out all day long. Well, is there anything I can do for you?
Well, no, I don't think so. I told Ben that I'd bring some of these election posters by. He always handles my election campaign, you know.
No, I didn't know that. Won't you come in and have some tea?
Well, thank you. Say, those flowers are beautiful, aren't they? You sure fix this place up?
Hop Sing! Sit down, won't you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Constable Coffee will have some tea.
Coffee will have tea. It's very funny.
Re-elect Roy Coffee for sheriff. It's not a very good likeness, is it?
Well, most of the folks know me. They'll recognize it.
Tea light on time. 3:30.
I do think tea is so civilized, don't you? Cream or sugar?
Well, I don't know. I don't drink much tea.
Oh, I see. Hop Sing hasn't brought the lemon. Oh, the domestic help out in the West is deplorable, don't you think?
Miss, I just don't want to cause you no bother. I am in a bit of a hurry, and if it's all the same with you, I'll just be running along. And you will tell Ben that I left the posters, please?
Well, surely you don't expect Benjamin to tack up these posters, do you?
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that. Generally...
I can understand him getting deeply involved in state or national politics, but not on a local level.
But when we talked about it the last time, he said distinctly that he wanted to handle my election campaign.
Oh, I'm sure he would, if he could spare the time.
But he said...
I'll tell you, I'll talk to him when he returns. You know, sometimes I think Benjamin is much too generous with his time.
Maybe I better just hang on to these posters until after you've had a chance to discuss the matter with Benjamin.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Goodbye, miss.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Jay.
Is that you, Benjamin?
Yes, it's me.
Too bad you weren't here a half an hour earlier. You missed Constable Coffee.
Oh. Oh, you mean Sheriff Coffee? Yes. I'm sorry, I missed him. Oh, did he leave anything for me?
No, I offered him some tea and we discussed his campaign for re-election. He seems like a very nice man.
Oh, he's Roy's one of the best. Sorry, I missed him.
Is something troubling you?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes. That lumber contract with the Army. I can't fulfill it until I get the new machinery. I can't get the machinery until the loan comes through. It hasn't come through, and time is running out on me. I just have to go in and see George Bristol again. Would you like to ride in with me tomorrow morning?
Yes, and I can do some more shopping. That is, unless you think I've run up too many bills.
Everything looks lovely. We'll ride in right after breakfast.
All right.
Clarissa, you finish your shopping, and then we'll meet at the hotel for lunch.
I'd like that very much.
See you later, Joe.
Yeah, see you later, pal.
Hey, Norm.
Hi, Ben.
I'm expecting a wire from Sacramento. Would you look to see if one came in?
I think one came in last night for you, Ben. I'll take a look for it right now.
Good.
I simply had to come and see you, Mr. Bristol. Benjamin tells me he's deeply concerned about the delay, and so am I.
Well, I'm doing my best.
Well, it's just not enough. Benjamin is losing valuable time by dealing with such a small local bank.
Are you suggesting that he could do better without me?
Mr. Bristol, Benjamin is dealing with you because you're such an old friend. But I think you'll agree he's paying a great price for that friendship.
Friendship?
Oh, Clarissa? Well, I didn't know you were here. I thought you were out shopping.
Well, I had a little business with Mr. Bristol, but I'll just be leaving now.
Oh, no, don't move. I'll just be a moment. George?
Morning, Ben.
I just got a wire from Sacramento. They have the mill machinery ready to ship, and I was wondering what you'd heard from San Francisco. George? George, I said, what did you hear from San Francisco?
The loan has not been approved yet. I told you it would take time, and after all, this is only a small-town bank.
George, look, you know about my Army contract, the stiff penalty clauses, and the cancellation clause. I can't wait much longer.
I understand your problem. However, perhaps it would be better if you handled it yourself.
Clarissa, perhaps it might be better if you finish your shopping now, and I'll meet you back at the hotel. I want to talk to George a moment.
Of course.
That won't be necessary. There's nothing more to be said.
George, I don't know why you've got your back up like this.
If you don't mind, I have work to do.
I just don't understand that George. Sometimes he gets so danged uppity. Can't even reason with him. Get my own loan.
Oh, I'll just finish my shopping.
Oh, Roy. Yes, sir.
Ben, hi.
Roy, and Clarissa told me you came by yesterday. I thought you were going to leave some of those posters for me.
What with the mill you're building, I figured that you'd be much too busy to get mixed up in local politics.
Well, I don't even know if I'm going to be building a mill, but I've been running your campaigns before. Don't you want me to run this one?
Thanks just the same, but I just couldn't take your valuable time.
Well, my time's valuable, too. What can I do to help?
Roy? What's the matter with you? You know, you're as grumpy as a grizzly with a sore paw. Now, I told you I was going to run your campaign. I'm going to.
Well, I thought you were all tied up with the mill.
Well, I am tied up with the mill. But I've built mills before, and I'll build them again. That doesn't mean I'm so tied up I can't help you.
Ben's right.
Yeah, I guess he is.
A little plain talk usually straightens things out.
Pity more people don't know that.
Son of a gun.
Hey, what are you fellas doing here? I thought you were working up the North Range.
Well, you thought wrong, Mr. Cartwright. Me and the boys decided to come into town and have ourselves a drink.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, that's fine with me, but if Pa finds out about it, you're liable to find yourself without a job.
Well, he's going to be a mite late. Because in case you didn't hear, we quit.
Hey, wait a minute. What do you mean you quit?
Quit! When some female comes into the men's bunkhouse, hangs up curtains, pours out all our whiskey, and then starts ordering my men around, I am through. Through.
Roy Coffey was no problem. I just talked to him and straightened things out with him. And Baker, well, you know, anytime he's blown up and quit, I can talk to him, but Mr. George Bristol, well, that's a horse of another color. He just froze up completely.
Did you ask him why?
When Mr. George Bristol freezes up, he's harder to get to than the gold in the Denver Mint.
Well, how come it turned against you all of a sudden, Bo?
It must have been Clarissa. She was sitting in the office when I walked in. She sure has the knack of saying the wrong thing at the right time.
She sure does. She sure gets under my skin. Hop Sing ain't been the same neither.
Oh, she doesn't do it deliberately. She just does it.
Well, boy, in that case, how come the relatives keep asking her to come and stay with them all the time?
Because they need her. They use her. Anytime they need somebody to take care of the baby, take care of the house, do the house cleaning, the cooking, and there's no help in the house, they send for good old Clarissa, and she goes. Because she has to. The only way she can pay for her keep. Has nothing but her pride. Took care of her father long enough until the day he died and left her with nothing and an old maid.
How do you think the relatives are really using Clarissa?
What's that supposed to mean?
I just like when she came here. We didn't ask her to be the maid, the housekeeper, the cook. That was all her idea. Maybe she's done exactly the same thing with the rest of the relatives.
That's right.
Yeah. May have something there. But she just likes to keep busy. I'll tell her to stop running our lives.
When? When will you talk to her?
Soon. I'll talk to her tomorrow.
How about now? Still early.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yes?
It's Ben, Clarissa. May I come in?
Of course, Benjamin. You know, I've been lying here thinking about this house. Everybody's so good to me. The warmth, Benjamin. The love. I envy you the way you love each other.
Well, we managed to stick together. We always have.
I can see it, I know. 3 against the world.
Oh, well, no, not exactly. Clarissa, it's not 3 against the world. It's, you see, we have many good friends and neighbors and people who help us along the way all the time. And it's really what I wanted to discuss, to talk to you about.
Yes, Benjamin?
I know that you've traveled a great deal, met many people, but I'll bet you that people out here are much more sensitive than the people in the East. Now, I know they look hard, and their hands are all gnarled from hard work, but their feelings are very close to the surface. They're very easily hurt.
Are you scolding me?
Oh, no, of course not. It's not for... I was really just wondering whether you had said anything to George Bristol that he might have misunderstood.
Oh, Benjamin. You worry about the most unimportant things. Well, he's just the local banker. And besides, you yourself said he had a closed mind, now, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. But now, my foreman, Harry, and the two hands had just walked off with him.
Those three. That's not such a loss.
You see, these people, they don't understand that...
Are you trying to tell me that I've worn out my welcome?
No, Clarissa, we all want you to be very happy here.
Oh, I am happy. Everything's absolutely marvelous.
Good.
But you can't expect me to just sit around like a piece of furniture and not have an opinion.
Well, of course not, Clarissa. No one would ever expect that. You can't be denied that.
But I've offended your friends. Oh, Benjamin, if I'm coming between you and your friends, then I shall simply have to leave here.
Now, wait a minute, Clarissa. Now, please, Clarissa. Now, I didn't come in here for any reason like that. No, I had no intention of even suggesting such a thing.
Well, if I stay, I've got to be useful.
Well, of course you do, Clarissa.
A woman needs to be needed, Benjamin.
Certainly.
That's the most important thing in her life.
Oh, Clarissa, of course it is. Of course it is. Now, Clarissa, you must promise me something. Now, you must put out of your mind any thought of leaving here. Now, you must do that now.
Yes, I will, Benjamin.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I know you must be tired, and, well, I'll leave you, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. Oh.
How'd you make out?
Well, she wanted to leave.
Is she going to?
No, I talked her out of it.
It's your move.
So good of you to come, Mr.
How do you do,
Coffey.
Miss Cartwright?
Mr. Peterson.
Miss Cartwright, you haven't met my wife, Elvira.
How do you do? My, you must be happy to be settled down after all your wanderings.
Did Benjamin tell you I was a gypsy?
No, it was Emily Durker.
Emily Durker?
She works in the post office. She mentioned how your letters to Ben always had a lot of different return addresses.
Well, I have a very large family, Mrs. Peterson, and I love them very dearly.
Well, come along, Elvira. Let's sample Hopsing's punch.
Say, some punch, Sherry?
Thank you, ma'am.
What's going on here?
One of you boys having a campaign party or something?
We'll soon find out. Take your noses. What?
Anything?
Clarissa?
Benjamin, surprise, surprise. Are you surprised?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I am just a little surprised. Now, what is all this about?
Well, last night you said I'd made trouble with your friends, and I didn't want that. So I went into town and I talked to them, and now they're all here. All your friends are here. Well, are you pleased?
Well, yes, Clarissa, I'm, it was very nice. It was very nice of you, Clarissa. Everything looks lovely. I better get cleaned up.
Good evening, Miss Cartwright.
Good evening, Mr. Bristol.
George. Well, nice to see you here.
Thank you. However, I'm here because Miss Cartwright extended a personal invitation.
Oh, well, no matter what the reason, I'm still very happy that you're here, George.
Why don't you get Mr. Bristol some punch, Benjamin?
Yeah, certainly. George, come along, get some punch.
No, you get it.
I'll be right back. Cookies are good.
What's the occasion?
Clarissa's idea for patching things up. I gotta get this punch to George.
What's the big hurry?
I don't want Clarissa to have a chance to say anything more to him.
Stop worrying. You got nothing to lose. Most of these people don't talk to you anymore anyway.
Oh, Ben, hey, that Pete Jenkins that's running against me, he could get an awful lot more votes than we first figured.
What'd you say, Roy?
Well, Pete Jenkins is going around the county and making speeches and talking to folks, and from what I've been hearing...
It's a very nice party, Miss Cartwright, but I'm wondering why you invited me.
Well, I was hoping you'd make it up with Benjamin.
Make it up?
A man has to be generous, don't you think?
So I thought maybe you could set up some meetings, like here in Virginia City at the town hall and some other towns in the county.
My cousin Benjamin's been very good to you.
Yes, that's quite true.
And I know you're grateful to be of service to him.
Grateful to be of service?
There. I knew you weren't too proud to recognize the obvious.
I thank you for setting me straight, Miss Cartwright.
Well, I'll talk to you about that first thing in the morning, Roy.
All right, fine.
George? Well, here's that punch.
Not now, Ben. I'm going home.
George, wait a minute now. We ain't going home. The party just started.
Well, it's over as far as I'm concerned.
Roy, have some more punch. I'm going in to get cleaned up.
That's right.
Hey, Harry. I'm glad you could make it.
I want my money.
Hey, now, come on. Now, forget that money talk. You've been with us too long for that.
I ain't working for no female.
All right, you don't have to work for any female. We got that all straightened out. You can take the curtains down in the bunkhouse, and you can even keep a little whiskey in there if you want to. How's that sound?
Fine.
All right, then forget about it. Go on and get some punch.
Howdy, ma'am.
I thought I told you no drinking for the help of the Ponderosa.
Hey, Harry, where are you going? What about that punch? Hey, Harry, what the heck's this all... Harry! Harry, what the... Harry, will you... Look, I'm sorry about that, Harry. I didn't want to hit you.
Joseph, what's going on here?
Beats the heck out of me, Pa.
Harry, you better get on back to town and sober up.
Sober up, heck. I can't even get a drink of punch around here. I want my money, if it's all right with that female who's running the Ponderosa.
Joe, get him his money.
No, please, don't go. Please, everyone, stay. Oh, I didn't want to cause any trouble. I just wanted to help. Ben, they're your friends. That's the most precious thing in the world. And I came between you. Please.
Clarissa, it's all right.
No, it's not all right. It's not all right until you're friends again. Then it will be all right.
Well, I've always been a doggone hothead, Mr. Cartwright. You know that.
You've always been a good foreman, Harry.
Joe, what are we fighting about anyway?
I can't remember, Harry.
And I'm sorry, Ben. I think that I could have been more tolerant.
Well, Hop Singh has made some cookies. I'll get them.
George. You know, fellas, I think we could stand some punch.
Mr. Cartwright, I'm leaving. I'm going back to San Francisco.
Son of a gun. She done it again.
I'll go get him, Pa.
You know, Ben, I think I'm beginning to understand that lady.
Really?
Yes.
Really? George, would I talk to you about something?
Benjamin, it's a beautiful room. It's so generous of you to give it to me.
Oh, you like it. I'm glad.
Oh, like it. I just love it.
Oh, good.
But, Benjamin...
Oh, now, Clarissa, come on now. You gotta stop worrying. Now, sit down. You're an excellent bookkeeper. You know that. You'll have your own office. It'll be peaceful and quiet to be able to do all the work you want. Nobody to disturb you.
Oh, I do appreciate what you're doing. But...
Hold on. It's all settled. I've already talked to George Bristol. He's delighted at the prospect.
He is?
Clarissa, George Bristol needs your help.
He really needs me?
Of course he does.
You know, George Bristol is a very nice man, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's one of the best.
It would be nice to be independent, wouldn't it?
Now, wait a minute, Clarissa. You're not going to get so danged independent you're not going to come out to visit with us.
Thank you, Benjamin. But it'll have to be just for a visit. I'm going to be very busy.
Good. Well, I better be getting along. See you soon.
Yes, Benjamin, at the bank.
Yes.
You know, I'm beginning to have all kinds of new ideas about banking. I can't wait to tell George about them.
Yeah, well...